Today's podcast is brought to you by Casper.com. Receive $50 towards any mattress purchase at www.caspertrial.com/SIBSB.
Until I met my new best friend, all of my boys say I'm tripping. When they call, I'm not answering. They always get my voicemail 'cause I'm...
Alex, are we rolling? We're rolling. Welcome to another episode of Sorry I've Been So Busy, the podcast where we talk to very busy people about what they're busy with. Sometimes we talk to not so busy people about what they're pretending to be busy with all day. We got a guy on in a few minutes. Neither of us know this guy, so I'm excited to find out what his life is all about.
Real mystery guest.
Real mystery guest. We're excited to check it out, catch up. That's Andrew Goldstein, by the way.
At Ange Gold on Twitter, ANGEGOLD.
No mystery there. He's going to plug his Twitter.
I also have 5 burner accounts.
Yeah. We were just talking about the Colangelo thing.
You can follow me on all 5 of those, plus at Ange Gold on Twitter.
Yeah. But my name is Matt Goldich, by the way, at Matt Goldich, MATTGOLDICH, just the one. My Instagram is run by a Russian bot. But anyway, producer Alex is in the house. We're here at the Showbiz Studios in the East Village of New York City. Alphabet City, we might as well call it.
If you want intimate knowledge of the inner workings of the Showbiz Studios, follow those burner accounts because I've been tweeting intimate secrets about the business inner workings.
Yes, or just go to the deli where Alex buys his sandwich every day.
They know everything.
And his small bag of chips rather than investing in a large bag. So anyway, but there are a lot of great podcasts on the Showbiz Studios Network. Check it out, showbizstudios.com, the YouTube page, the Facebook page. Alex, anything we should know about? Any recent hits?
Big episode of the Carson podcast. Who's the guest?
Can't say.
Red Buttons?
Ha!
Red Skelton?
It's somebody named Red. It's
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, well, he's not going to be on anytime soon. But anyway, they got the show. Yeah, that's the Carson podcast with Mark Malkoff. He interviews people talking about the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
You know what I wanted to say is we mention all the ways you can get the podcast many times, but just this week I went on YouTube and I searched Sorry I've Been So Busy, and I know we've talked about it, but every episode of our podcast exists as a YouTube video.
Yes.
It's not a video. You don't see any picture. You just see a picture of us, but you can hear the audio, and it's a really easy way to digest the podcast.
The best part is you don't have to watch us.
But what's so interesting is there are actually some views on the video.
Oh, really?
On the thing. So some people are taking in our podcast in that form, and so I wanted to let our listeners know it's not just something you have to listen to through your phone while you're on a train or a bus or in your car. You can be at your desk at work with headphones in, listening to us via YouTube.
Go to YouTube, search "Hot Jew on Jew Action."
Yeah, and we come right up.
There you go. But in addition, please rate and review us on iTunes because that helps us a lot. That we really appreciate that. And we've spotlighted many past reviewers as our busybody of the week. Could be you in a future week. Andrew,
that's what you call a call to action.
Yes, there you go. That's what
in the biz,
right in the middle of Act 1,
showbiz.
And as we shift segments, Andrew, this is the part of the show where I ask you what you have been busy with, my friend.
It's been a whirlwind month, really, because, turning 40, I had my Louisville trip, I'm producing this TV show, and then we moved.
Yes, you moved to...
we moved to the Upper West Side.
Kind of almost my neighborhood.
Almost. We're divided by a park.
Yes.
Morningside Park divides us, so I still feel like you were on the other side of the tracks, but we are technically neighbors. We're very close to each other now.
Where I live, you walk your dog while I kick a tin can down the road.
Yeah. Tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
And so we're like lower Columbia area now, and it's a really, really amazing neighborhood.
Moving can be very traumatic.
What I wanted to say is, I went from having a 15-minute walk to the Showbiz Studios, and now it's 2 trains and a 20-minute walk.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah, we could carpool.
We could. Yeah. We
could use the HOV lane.
That's true. Yeah, I don't need a dummy anymore. But
Yeah,
yeah,
very
this
traumatic.
has been like my, it's a schlep to get here. But what are we going to do? Produce the thing ourselves?
That's definitely not going to happen.
That's never happening. So that's
Alex
why.
is integral.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. This is my 7th apartment.
Wow.
In New York. 18 years, 7 apartments. And, when you're on your own, you tend to
I'm trying to think if I could name them all. I'm trying to remember. There were 2 on the Upper East.
Yeah.
There was a Columbus.
You want to go?
There was a
90th and 3rd,
82nd.
83rd and 2nd.
There was a Columbus Circle
55th and Broadway.
There was
then
like a
17th and
17th
6th,
Street. Yeah.
22nd and 9th.
That one I have no memory of.
Yeah.
That might have been when I was living
the
in
Aaron
LA.
Rothman in-laws apartment.
Yeah, that might have been.
And then I moved in, and then Jamie and I moved in
Union Square.
at Union Square, and now we're
you're-
on the Upper West.
Wow, you've been all over. So this is your 7th New York
7th apartment. And when you're moving on your own, you tend to just put everything in a box, and you don't do the big like purging and throwing away. And then when Jamie and I moved in together, we both did like semi-purges.
Yeah.
This time, we both like an exorcism. Like we got rid of so much. Like we are minimalist now.
Yeah.
Or we thought. And then, the moving day comes and you still have a ton of shit.
Oh, yeah.
You can't get around it. And moving day was particularly stressful because our building booked 2 moves on the same day, going through 1 elevator. Not a
The
freight
old
elevator.
building or the new
The old
building?
building.
Oh.
So what should have taken us like 3 hours took us basically 5 just to get out of our building.
At least it's the old building, so that like if you're upset about it, you can yell at somebody because it's like you're leaving.
We're
like
leaving.
The new building.
Yeah, but you want your
don't wanna-
security deposit back, so you can't go out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta get that back.
So that was traumatic. I tweeted during my move that I swear I thought one of my movers was Darko Milicic.
Yeah.
Milicic. And that tweet actually did really well. And I should have taken a picture, but Jamie forbid me to do it.
Yeah.
But he was really tall. He had the frosted tips.
Yeah.
He was jacked, and he had the tattoo sleeves.
Yeah.
I really thought he was Darko, but I ended up talking to the other guy. They were both Serbian.
Yeah.
And the guy was a former professional soccer player who's now a personal trainer.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But they're amazing.
Yeah, they
these
were
Russian
great.
guys. I'd love to have one of those guys on.
I
Not
know,
our
right?
movers, but a mover.
Didn't we have somebody who worked as a mover on the show? I can't remember. A comedian who was formerly.
Well, I
a mover.
remember a guy at camp was like he was a rabbi, but then also he was like a rabbinical student, but then also he did a summer as a mover.
No, I think we had a person on the show as a guest who worked as a mover once and was telling us about it, but I can't remember who it is.
I don't know, but this guy was lifting up things.
Yeah.
And they're just such quick work with the saran wrap.
Was there anxiety
bubble wrap.
Around tipping?
Yes. In fact, not with them because we pre-tipped. This is like a new thing you can do. You put the tip in, and then they come happy. They know what they're getting.
Very
But
smart.
with the cable guy, which was a whole thing because we had a guy come on Friday, which was the day after we moved, who got there, it was Friday Memorial Day weekend. He got there at 3 p.m., looked at our situation and was like, this isn't going to work. And he just left.
What?
Well, because he was saying like we weren't wired correctly. You have to
Yeah.
call, he was like, you need to talk to your contractor.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
I was like, what? We're not going to have cable? We're going to have to like tear up walls? So I just booked another guy to come on Monday.
Yeah.
Thinking like, okay, second opinion. Guy was there on the dot of 9 and he was like, yeah, I can do it. And he just did like a big, one of those New York cable runs where you split it and it goes to the living room and the bedroom.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, that guy just didn't want to work.
That's amazing.
So
yeah, that guy wants a tip.
So anyway, we were like, do we tip this guy? So Jamie was like, I'm going to text my dad.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, slip him something. So on his way out, I gave him $50.
My brother just moved, and I got a tip. It's like, how much did you move over? It's this much for 3 hours? And it's like,
Well,
I feel like I've sent that text too.
I will,
so.
and this has happened on previous moves. Not to get, I don't want to get depressive here, but that was like one of my first things when like my dad passed away, and then like I moved maybe like a year later. I was like, who do I
Yeah.
text about
Yeah.
the tip conversation?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
That's the dad conversation.
Yeah.
That's why you have your old dad.
I know, right? Yeah, or
They know those things.
Yeah, or just text 3 people and then get like a group opinion, like a group think opinion.
Yeah.
That's
But that's when it hits you. You're like, That's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the person. So she texted her dad, which was wonderful, and,
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
he knows all.
So you're still you have cable now, or you
We
don't?
have cable.
Okay.
It's wonderful. We have Wi-Fi.
And you're in the neighborhood, so we'll hang out. We'll figure out our commute.
We were like,
How
we could survive a weekend without cable, and then like 12 hours in, we're like, let's go to the beach. Let's go to her parents' house.
Yeah.
Kind of impossible.
No, we did that too, where you move and you're like, oh, we're gonna want to settle in, blah blah blah, and then you realize like, oh, you're basically like,
There's nothing to do.
Yeah.
And now I'm like out of data on my phone because I spent like 72 hours without Wi-Fi.
Sure. Well, I'm happy it's over, and that's the hardest part.
Well, now we're neighbors.
Yeah, we're neighbors.
We can brunch.
Yeah, we could. Well, I think we do have some plans.
We
in the
have
books.
plans,
We'll
I
have to
think,
figure
next
out.
weekend, Jamie told me, because we're around this weekend.
Yeah.
And we were wondering if you guys were.
No, we're not. But let's take a break, and then we'll talk to our guests. For you, the listeners of Sorry I've Been So Busy, Casper is offering $50 towards any mattress purchase at Casper.com. This is something we talk about all the time on the podcast. Everybody's so busy. They don't get enough sleep. Their sleep is interrupted. They got their phone by the bed. They're checking it in the middle of the night. We're not going to change any of these things, so why not get a better sleep on a better mattress from Casper.com? To receive $50 towards any mattress purchase, go to CasperTrial.com/SIBSB. Again, that's CasperTrial.com/SIBSB for $50 towards any mattress purchase. All right, we're back with our guest, comedian, writer. Very excited to meet him.
Actor.
Yes. And the guy who I don't know if where he lives. He lives in New York, but we'll find. Gibran Saleem is here. That was a terrible intro.
Hey, how's it going?
We're still working on our intros. We're 100 plus episodes in.
What neighborhood are you in?
I now live Fort Greene by the Barclay Center. I'm on the cusp. I'm like right where Fort Greene ends, and then like Borum Hill Park Slope. Like I'm between boroughs, but I'm Fort Greene technically.
Did you move recently? Is that why you said you're now, or
I moved a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
But as soon as I moved, I went to LA for like 5 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I came back, and then I was traveling a lot, and then
Were you just couch hopping in LA, or did you have like
I Airbnb'd. I guess I was just Airbnb hopping.
That's awesome. That's like a very 2018 way of getting around.
It was good. Oh, no. And then I had a friend who had a studio. What do you call it? He had a stabilized apartment. So
He had a horse stable.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. He
Gibran lived in.
In the farm in LA. You know LA and the farms.
It had a trough.
There are horses there, but yeah.
So yeah, he had like a run stabilized apartment, and
great.
I basically ended up staying there the longest for like 2-3 months.
Last time I was in LA, I didn't even rent a car. I just Ubered everywhere. I did like 17 Ubers in 3 days.
I highly debated that, and I used a service called Turo, where it's kind of like Airbnb for cars. So you just rent
I've heard
from
about
someone
that.
else. Yeah,
Wow.
And they're like nice cars.
yeah, they're good and bad.
Right.
It's like
Well, that's how I heard about it, because it's like, you can go and rent some rich guy's Porsche for 3 days.
you can,
Yeah.
but that guy may not be rich, and that Porsche may be half broken, and you don't
Yeah.
know till you show up.
Right.
This
So
guy's
there's
like,
hilarious.
I need to get some sucker to help me pay off this Porsche that I can't afford.
Exactly. Yeah, but they have reviews, so I mean, you can make it work.
We were just talking about moving because Andrew just moved recently. I don't know if you've had any weird bad moving experiences with.
Yeah, I went to Craigslist for movers in my apartment.
Interesting.
And it was nice at first. There were some Russian guys, and I say
Always.
Russian. Is that a thing?
In New York, definitely.
They had like
my
Russian
guys were
accents
Serbian.
and everything.
My guys were
okay.
Serbian.
Everything seemed cool till when they left. I realized I was missing my PlayStation 4.
Oh, get out. No.
Newly bought all my games, just like some electronic stuff. Because it was specifically in a box that was suddenly gone.
Yowza.
The box was labeled brand new PlayStation.
Exactly.
and
It's like
games.
the Simpsons in the basement, box of oily rags.
Yeah, I might as well have wrote "Please steal."
Yeah.
I like content. I didn't know what to do. Yeah.
My first move out of my first apartment into our second apartment, I had a box of like Playboys,
Nice.
basically like
So this was recent.
Wow.
I don't. Here's the thing. When I first got, I don't think they might not have been Playboys necessarily. They were. I don't know
Gent.
when Anyway,
Hustler.
it was a box of that kind of material.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to move with it. And
They
we
were
just
National Geographic.
We told the movers, we were like, you guys want these? And they're like, sure.
Yeah.
And they just like left
Here's
with
your
a big
tip.
box of
Yeah,
porter.
yeah.
Nice.
That's one thing we didn't talk about with moving was like how it's interesting you pay guys. When I was, your first couple moves, you can usually like talk friends into it with like pizza and beer
yeah.
or something like
No,
that.
Yeah.
that happens on TV.
I once had.
You can have friends move you out of a New York apartment.
I once had friends help with a move.
Really?
Yeah.
College
random-
was easier.
Yeah, 'cause
Now I
everything's
don't really
plastic.
have family around here. Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
Yeah. But the hiring, the moving, the sketchier you go, the more money you try to save, like the more likely. Because if you use like a real moving company,
Yep.
they might break stuff, but there's insurance. It's like you have like a recourse.
Yeah. I don't think Craigslist was the way to go.
Well,
Once
you're
you
older
own,
now and more.
once you
seasoned.
own like an adult dresser, like you need movers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing is not moving with the strength of regular people that are your friends.
My worst New York City moving experience was one time I was living with my brother. This was about probably 10, 12 years ago, and we moved apartments. And we the movers loaded everything up. We got to the new apartment, and there was a street fair in front of our apartment, which we did not know.
Wow.
And so we literally had to park the truck like 2 blocks away.
Oh, man.
And then one of the movers was like, we had 2 movers, and one of them was like hurt his back.
Oy.
And so then like we had like one mover basically like, and
then he
us,
went to the
like,
street
moving-
fair, bought a back brace?
Yeah, he bought an arepa, and no, he but it was really it took like it should have been like a 2-hour move, and it took like 7 because
How did you find these people?
it was like a moving company that you look up. I mean, this was probably back.
I feel like they probably would have been fine if the street
The
fair
back
was-
thing
Yeah,
is
they
crucial.
probably- yeah, I know, right? That your
Yeah.
back
Kinda
is
need
your
your
number
back.
one body part that you
Yeah.
need for
you kinda
moving.
need.
Yeah, where are you from originally? You said your family's.
I was born in North Carolina.
Okay.
I'm from like my family background
Yes.
is from Pakistan, and I basically lived in North Carolina for a few years, and then my family moved to Virginia.
Okay.
Then they got divorced, and I stayed in Virginia till I was like 12, 13, and then eventually I went to Western New York, like near Rochester.
Yeah.
Then I went back to Virginia, and then
Wow.
I ended up in New York. Yeah,
You've been all over.
What
Along
part of
the East Coast.
What part of North Carolina?
Greensboro.
Oh wow, big
Yeah.
wrestling town. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's a
If
wrestler.
I hear
I didn't
that-
know that.
Greensboro,
I didn't know that was a big wrestling
rife
town.
with wrestling history. Anyway,
Wow,
my
okay,
uncle lives
cool.
in Raleigh, so I've been
Yeah,
been down there.
I'm going there at the end of the month.
Why does Greensboro have a lot of wrestling?
Well,
history?
because
didn't
it's
know
the
that.
Mid-South territory.
There's definitely a lot of civil rights stuff, history-wise.
Screw that. Wrestling.
Wrestling, well, yeah,
important.
more important.
The Greensboro Coliseum was a hotbed of wrestling. Anyway,
I didn't know that.
How
Cool.
are you? You like the Bojangles?
Yeah, I haven't been there in a long time.
Well, when you go back, you should. I just went because I was in Louisville.
Yeah.
We did a big breakfast at Bojangles.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
What do you get? Like biscuits? and
Biscuit,
stuff?
chicken and biscuits,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
They're known for their biscuit.
So what? So like you're pretty much you have all over kind of. You're like
Yeah, but pretty much along the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Did you move to New York to do comedy or what?
I moved to New York for grad school for psychology.
Wow.
Where were you undergrad?
VCU,
Yeah, Virginia Commonwealth.
Yeah,
Final
in Richmond,
Four.
Virginia. yeah.
Mark Jackson. No, he was
No.
not Mark Jackson, the point guard. Mark Jackson, the center from Temple. Before he was at Temple, he was at
No, that's
No.
how's that going to be your pull?
because I went to Temple.
No, VCU they made the final
Yeah,
four.
yeah,
Shaka Smart.
Shaka
go
Smart.
Rams,
Rams, yeah, Shaka Smart.
Sure, yeah. So you went to the undergrad there,
Yeah.
and then you were going to be a therapist, a psychologist, or
I was before.
You're very soothing to talk to.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
already- I feel
I
comfortable.
appreciate that. I was debating between creative advertising and psychology.
basically two sides of the same coin.
Exactly.
Yes.
They're like exactly the same thing.
Well,
more
you're
or less.
using psychology too.
for sure, but more like graphic design kind
Right.
of stuff.
Okay, yeah, that is, yeah.
And originally, I was at VCU for their art school. They have a really great art school. And then I injured my left wrist. I used to lift a lot of weights. I looked
Yeah.
like I had no neck. I looked like
He
a
was a
Ninja
mover.
Turtle. Yeah, I was a mover. I had a really bad back.
Yeah.
And then, so I dropped out of their art program.
Wait,
You need your wrist to be an artist.
you suffered a weightlifting injury and you couldn't do art because of it?
Okay, so I tore a tendon, and I'm
Yeah.
left-handed, and I tore a tendon in my left wrist. So the first year of
What,
art
like on the
school-
lat pull down?
I think I don't know what. For the podcast listeners, I'm
Yeah.
pantomiming weightlifting,
Yeah.
but it was like this.
You're
I don't
pantomiming
know, yeah.
pumping oil
Yeah,
out
Yeah,
of a
it
well.
looks like I'm pumping oil
Yeah,
right
right,
now,
yeah.
like a Looney Tunes character. I'm
Or
You're
that's
on
a
that
blow up some
TNT dynamite. Yeah.
The train track seesaw?
But the first year of their art program is the art foundation, which is you paint, you draw, you take a bunch of various art classes before you apply to your concentration.
Right.
So I couldn't paint, I couldn't draw anymore. I couldn't do those classes, so I just dropped out.
Opposable thumbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It's a Friends reference. But
Oh.
you need your
Just
thumbs
random-
to do art.
I didn't
You
know
do.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And you couldn't train yourself with the right? You couldn't.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No, I was
definitely
just thinking
not.
because one time I broke my arm and I had to
Yeah,
masturbate
camp.
with the other hand for 6 weeks.
Yeah, we've all done that.
Feels like a stranger.
Yeah, it's an uncoordinated stranger.
Yeah. What
so
is this light grip on my penis?
So you switched to psychology where you only needed your mind.
Yeah, because I felt that was more of like a stable career.
People are always going
I feel like
Of
you're the
course.
first.
Not mentally
You're
stable,
the first
but like,
bodybuilder who had to drop out of art school.
I wasn't a
is a very-
bodybuilder. I was just a kid who didn't know what I was doing in the gym.
You Lou Ferrigno.
Bodybuilder sounds like, wait, no, I wasn't a bodybuilder. I just didn't know. I was just being stupid.
Yeah,
Right.
that-
So then you moved to psychology.
Yeah. So I double majored psychology, creative advertising, and I was either going to go to Miami, to the Miami ad school, or I didn't know where, but just I was going to apply to psychology schools. And then I just went, I was like, I'm going to do psychology.
At this point, is there like comedy in the background ever, or like
Not at all.
Not at all.
I mean, I loved comedy as a consumer.
Yeah.
As a fan.
You were just the funny built guy in the art studio.
Yes.
You were the jacked funny guy.
You're making him sound like he was like doing this oil peck
Yeah,
dance. to
I
make
was
people laugh.
Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was.
Were you as big as Joe Berg?
No,
Joe
Aaron
Berg.
Berg.
Aaron Berg.
Berg.
Sorry.
Aaron Berg.
Why did I say
Yeah,
Joe?
where did
Joe
Joe
Berg's a
come
former
from?
page.
No, I wasn't as big as Joe.
Okay.
Or Aaron
Now
Berg.
you're on
trying
board.
to
He's
place,
like-
Yeah.
trying to
He's
place
like
your
very lean
musculature.
and stuff. I mean, I was like partying and stuff
Okay,
too,
that's
so
right.
it wasn't
Okay.
like
Yeah. We're hooked on the podcast.
Yeah.
I love that.
It is funny. It'd be like,
What were you squatting?
yeah.
I don't even remember.
It was literally the only time
I definitely
we
was
ever-
neglecting legs though.
What do you bench? Yeah. Of course, that's
Yeah.
what we all did in college.
Yeah, it was all wrist.
Okay, so you asked a good question before I diverted us.
Yeah. So at what point did you start getting into comedy? I mean, you moved to New York. And
Okay.
that sort of.
I was always going to shows in New York. I was at NYU grad housing, which was on 26th and 2nd, and I lived near New York Comedy Club on 24th and 2nd. And I was always going to shows. I went to the Cellar a lot. I remember seeing like Paul Mooney at Caroline's, Patrice O'Neill. I was just constantly consuming comedy, and I loved it. And there was like little seeds in my head that like, I'm going to try this at some point. I thought I had like really dope like Facebook statuses, which were just one-liners. I loved growing up. My favorite comedians growing up were Chappelle, Tosh, and Dimitri Martin.
Yeah.
Wow, you were really a child of that generation.
You loved Comedy Central, basically.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did. I loved
exactly.
Comedy Central. My stepdad was really into like Carlin and The Daily Show, Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
So he was really into like political comedy stuff like that. So I was like that stuff
Yeah.
too, but like I was more into like these guys. And originally, like I would just write things on my own, like one-liners that were not great, but they were more similar to Dimitri Martin. And basically, there are just different points where I just thought about doing comedy, but I didn't really know you could do it, like as a career or something you could pursue until I went to an open mic. I went on a date to an open mic.
What?
As a consumer, as like an audience member.
Yeah, but it wasn't really about the date. It was just about me not going by myself and
Right.
just like, oh yeah, let's do this.
Was it a first date?
It was a girl that I knew.
Yeah.
She may have not known it was a date.
Right.
Who
Where-
knows?
Right.
Yeah. Where was the open mic?
It was at New York Comedy Club.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I remember even before I went, I remember walking by. I think I went in once and asked them about open mics and stuff. And then one day I like went in and I went with and we just sat down and watched. And that's when it was just like, and I just saw all these people that were just regular dudes, regular girls, just like doing comedy.
This is part of like every comedian's like comedy person's origin story, where it's like this, like the 2 times you have to walk past it to like stake it out before.
Yeah.
You
I was always.
it
was like comedy for me. It was like a girl that I had a crush on that I was looking at from a distance, and she may have been looking back at me, but I was like, I can't. I'm not. I don't have the balls. I can't say anything.
Yeah,
it's so funny though. I feel like you listen to podcasts or you hear interviews with like. It's like just the biggest, like some of the biggest comedians in the world, and like they all are people that you would think are like so confident, like so cocky, and all of them are like, it took me 6 months to like work up the courage to like walk in the door.
It took me 6 months from there. I went into them and they're just regular people, and I was like, like you can do this.
Yeah,
like this isn't just turn the TV on, you watch comedies. Like people are actively pursuing it. One of the reasons why I did psychology was because it was a more stable career, and at one point I was going to be like pre-med because my family was just like, all right, you got to do one of these. You know, more stable law, engineer, medicine. My stepdad was a doctor, so that was like a deep-rooted trajectory that was never going to happen.
Right.
So once I'm like, oh, like I'm in New York. This is like people are doing things here. Like you can do anything you want. Like, and comedy is something that you can actually pursue. Then that seed like really started growing in my head because I was like, oh, this is a possibility.
Did you finish grad school or no?
I did, but it took me way longer than I should because once I started stand-up, I just got obsessed with it. Yeah. And everything else was a blur. And I was supposed to be doing like a thesis to finish, and I hit a brick wall, and I just stopped doing it. So I was matriculating myself at school, not taking classes, and basically just the only reason I was matriculating was to maintain that I was still a student. Because if I didn't do that, I would just lose it all. Yeah. So I just did that. Did
you have like student housing? You had so you had like,
eventually I got an apartment, but at first I did student housing.
Do you have day jobs and stuff too, or do you all?
Yeah, I've done a lot of different jobs. Within psychology, I was kind of like an underling at a private practice. I was like a junior coach. For a while I moved to England, and I worked at a obesity camp. I was a CBT coach, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. Yeah. And I did that for a while.
For kids who ate too many crisps?
Way too many crisps. Biscuits. I was a kid's soccer coach.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of random things that I did. I ate lots of bagels. Bagels were my thing because people are all about pizza here, $1 slice pizzas, but I was eating $1 bagels.
Sure.
It's not a bad strategy
because I was trying to be healthy. That's not really healthy, though.
No,
it's healthier than pizza. It's from your
I was eating pizza
bodybuilding days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's a hangover.
If you're young in your 20s,
did you ever? I feel like you're very into bodybuilding somehow.
No, I'm a wrestling fan.
So that's right. I
know. Okay. I'm fascinated by the whole world.
I remember you
also I'm huge.
Used to have a rule about like not wanting to spend more than $5 on lunch, which and that's like
can't do it.
It's
now.
a recipe for just eating horribly.
Yeah.
You can eat very cheaply. It's
so funny you bring that up. I still the part of my brain like if I walk around Times Square and I'm like, oh, dollar slice place that you could. If I was like destitute, I'd be like, all right, I'd hit that place. Yeah, I could do 2 slices and a drink.
Boom,
and be pretty good.
Yeah. So at what point did you fully like do comedy stuff? Or are you still?
Well, I worked a lot of random jobs. When I finally finished my master's, I was like, all right, I know I want to do stand up, so it's a matter of staying afloat.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I was gonna. My initial trajectory was PhD with psychology.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I know what I want. So in order to get a job, so I rebranded myself as I had a background in consumer psychology. And at that point, social media was really kicking off as far as a field. And I was like, okay, that's what I can do. And I could use consumer psychology to get into that as this business, marketing.
Yeah.
So I interned at like a social media agency, and then I started working at various companies. I'd freelance, and then I'd get jobs where either I'd get fired or I'd quit because because I feel like it's a very competitive field, and people work till like 8 or 9 p.m. Or even later. Like people are in it to win it in New York, and I'm in it to win it, but it wasn't for that field.
You weren't, trying to win that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was doing that. I was either quitting or getting fired, and then eventually a friend that I went to grad school with, she was like, "Hey, there's this nonprofit that I work at. The hours aren't that bad. You should try it." And that was my last job, which I quit like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more than 2 years ago.
And now you're full-time
comedian.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the dream.
It is a dream.
What's the family situation? Are they cool with that, or was there ever any push and pull?
Oh, they're cool now.
Yeah.
But it was like a journey.
Yeah.
I knew that I couldn't just tell them I was doing comedy, so I like leaked information to them.
Yeah.
And it started with public speaking classes.
There you
so
go.
I would say
Slow burn.
Yeah, and anything academia, my family is cool with. So they're like, "Oh, he's learning more. He's studying more. He's hungry."
That's the psychology.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's really smart to say public speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of public speaking.
which is not a lie. I was public
you
speaking.
were
Right, yeah.
speaking publicly.
Writing. I'm learning about writing.
Yeah, I'm taking writing classes.
Yeah, there you go.
And then my parents are divorced. So I have like 2 separate families.
Yeah.
My mom is way more easy about that stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's evidenced by the fact that she married a guy who really likes George Carlin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
So
Your dad married a woman who's really into hamburger.
She loves hamburger. That was her thing.
Sorry.
This is old school comedian.
Yeah. So that side of the family more cool with whatever.
And then eventually, this Japanese TV channel reached out to me, NHK TV, and they were doing a documentary series called Asian Dreamers. So Pakistan is South Asia.
Yeah.
Sure.
People don't think that, but
No.
it
Even Middle East isn't really its own tectonic plate continent.
Yeah.
It's Asia. A lot of it's Asia.
Yeah, well, it's a weird thing because like they let Middle Eastern countries, or they let Israel in the Eurovision contest, I guess,
Right.
technically, even though would you call the Middle East? You don't really know what to call it. They need an 8th continent. That's my opinion.
And it would be the Middle East.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
but yeah, so they were doing a documentary series called Asian Dreamers, and so they did an episode on me called "Brown is Funny."
oh my gosh.
No, but I like that. I use the word brown all the. I identify as brown.
Yeah.
And so they asked if one of my parents could be in it. Mm-hmm. So my mom, who's like a social butterfly, like she's like just you put a camera on her, she's ready to go. So I asked her, and so she's like, okay. So she did it, and from then on, she knew officially.
she got it.
Before that, she started like when I was doing comedy, she would like reach out to med schools and like give them my information. So like I would check my mail and I would receive all these brochures from like random med schools, and I'm like, I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, this is so like I mean, this is Jewish parents would do that too. That's very stereotypical.
Yeah. Or like
yeah,
hip hop parents, like my son's got a mixtape.
Yeah.
Sending it to radio stations.
That's yeah.
But then she stopped after that. I think for her, that was like, oh, yeah, he's really doing this.
If you show them little bits of, like, improvement, success, like, give them things like, hey, you know,
Yeah. And then my dad, I did this Access TV Gotham Comedy Live.
Yeah, it was a big show.
Yeah, it was good. And I showed it to my dad, and I think that was more official then for him.
Yeah.
And then that kind of helped him kind of like just be like, oh, so my son is doing this.
Yeah. As long as you didn't tell him that you probably had to pay more to join the union than to than they actually paid.
I didn't.
That was my first.
Even when I quit my job, I didn't tell my dad.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
My dad thinks I'm at work right now. No, he doesn't, but he knows.
We won't. This is I'm
at work.
Technically,
I'm at work.
He's a busy boy.
He's
a big fan.
Cool. So you're doing touring and stuff, or are you mostly?
So when I quit,
clubs and colleges all over town.
Clubs and colleges all over town. When I quit, one of the things that I did was I started reaching out to college agencies.
Yeah.
And I pitched myself in one agency in particular I wanted to work with, and it luckily worked out. I mean, they kind of vetted me, like, you know, I had to like prove myself to them. And colleges, they're good and bad, but financially that helped keep me in the game.
I did a lot of colleges. I actually did. I shouldn't say I did a lot. Back, in the day, I did a lot of NACA conferences, and I never booked. I booked probably 6 or 7 NACA conferences, and from each one, I would book maximum like 4 or 5 colleges, which is
that's still something.
But some I would book 0. And I never had, even though I kept getting the conferences, I never had that thing where like I just went on a tour based on, or like my friend Dana Dude, who we've had on, like did like hundreds and hundreds of colleges, like, which I wouldn't want to do it now, but when I was starting out, it would have been great,
Yeah. I think I live with Dana Dude's like second cousin or something.
Oh, really?
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dana Dude in Cobra Kai.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shout out to Dana Dude.
Shout out to Cobra Kai.
But
I've never seen it, but
they're fun when you're young. I mean, when you and especially like when you're starting out, and when you can still identify with the college age.
But for me to like really like real material that has more depth is harder to like really hit them with. Especially, I talk a lot about my background a lot, and you just say certain words, and they're just like, whoa. And like, I just said water. And they're like, it's offensive. I'm like, okay. H2O. I'm like, all right. Right. That's better.
Yeah. But I think that there is that whole thing of like political correctness, but they're also like interested in talking about there's like this weird dichotomy of like they want to talk about it, but it can't be offensive. It's like a strange.
They want to have a conversation.
Yeah. But the good thing is I can do like an hour there, and I did not have an hour at first. I definitely lied.
You have to, yeah.
I lied about like having how much material. Like,
oh, sure.
That was part of like getting vetted. They wanted to know that I could do an hour, and I was like, all right, how am I going to manipulate 5 minutes into 60 minutes? Crowd work is the answer.
Oh, I would get up and I would read the Wikipedia entry for the college. That's and I would go through it, and I would ask questions about like that was how I would kill the first like 15 minutes.
Wow. Yeah. I still do this, but I generally enjoy it. I do Q&A at the end.
Yeah.
So
Q&A is amazing. It doesn't matter.
And I really enjoy. I genuinely like connecting with the kids. If they're a decent crowd.
I'm sure you've had non-decent crowds.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%. I've done shows. I've done like a college in a cafeteria with like 4 or 5 people.
That's what I'm
kind
saying,
of fun, though.
Where kids are doing other things and you're just doing comedy.
in like the commons area where people just go between classes at 12 noon. Just brutal. And they're heckling you.
I once saw a stage set up in like the common areas of Chelsea Market, which is like the most traversed fucking. Yeah, it's like super crowded, and somebody's like telling jokes, and people are just walking by with their back.
It's brutal. Yeah. I did a show. There was like a lacrosse meeting. The team was having a meeting in like the cafeteria, and that was my audience.
But you can never predict, because sometimes things that seem like they're going to be great are horrible. And sometimes, like I did a show once. It was an all-girls school, and it was Parents' Weekend, and so it was all these girls and their parents, and I was like, oh man, this is not going to go out. It was one of the best shows I ever did.
We did a Hanukkah party at College of Staten Island.
You and I performed at a Hanukkah party at the College of Staten Island.
We crushed it.
Yeah. I did a show recently. This was like 2 months ago.
The menorah was powered by our comedy.
It was, yes.
And basically a month before the show, I get an email from my agent, and she's like, "Hey, just to let you know, I've been told that there's a lot of like racial tension on campus, so heads up." And I'm like, "Okay, what am I supposed to do with that information?" But they're saying like lay low a little bit on race stuff, and I'm like, "But that's like half my act."
Yeah. And you're like, what if instead I heal? I try to heal.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay, whatever. It's a month from now. Like 2 days before the gig, I get a call from my agent. She's like, hey, can you contact like the point guy? Because apparently there's like it's gotten worse. And I'm like, what the heck?
That's
and then
your job.
I called the point guy, and he's like, yeah, there's a lot of tension. There's like an email going out. There was like a campus email with a bunch of racist stuff. There's like protests going on at the faculty meeting. So if you could just like, lay low on race and stuff like that. But me just talking about my background is race.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, what am I like? I thought I was gonna walk into like the set of Higher Learning, which is like that movie with like Ice Cube. I think Busta Rhymes was in it.
Yeah.
And I was just I was scared shit. I can cuss?
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But
This
yeah.
isn't a college. You can.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh no, can I say it?
Yeah.
And it ended up being totally fine.
Yeah.
They were over prepping me.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
totally fine.
Making fun of yourself and your own race is always a good move. Making fun of other races is where you get into trouble.
Yeah.
Well, ironically,
Yeah.
he opened for Roseanne at that time.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was.
She crushed.
She was awesome.
Yeah, she
knocked it
Well,
out.
that's great. I'm glad that it went well. I also think like
We slept very well
especially
that
they
night.
were probably ready to laugh. They were there was a lot of
100%.
tension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get
Let's get into your
Gibran's
day. Is there a day recently that was particularly interesting, or do you want to talk about a typical day in your life, or what do you think? What you pick?
I wanted to say I was a little nervous about doing this podcast because I was like, oh, this is going to force me.
We ask such tough questions.
Yeah, no.
Well, it was going to
Hard-hitting.
force me to realize how unproductive
Got it.
I am. And
Yeah.
like, oh man. So like now I'm trying to be way more productive. I basically lost focus when I was in California.
We hold a mirror up to your life.
My soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're trying to be more productive for us, or for your own personal?
No, for
okay.
my own
All right,
for
good.
my own life.
Yeah.
I feel like I wasn't really productive this spring.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like back on my game.
So-
I'll go through like cycles,
Right.
where I'm like hyper focused, hyper productive. Then I get overwhelmed, and then it's the opposite.
Then
Yeah.
you tap out.
Yeah,
So
Head back to the
so
gym.
right now you're in focus mode, or you're
I'm in focus mode, but
okay.
I'm transitioning to focus mode.
Okay.
to an extent.
So what was like? Is there a day this week that something happened, or that was interesting, or that you just want to pick a random day?
Yesterday.
I did a Blues Clues audition.
Wait, hold on. This was yesterday? Or no?
Well, this is the day before yesterday.
Okay,
Sure,
Tuesday.
that's
So let's
fine.
talk
Yeah,
Tuesday.
okay,
This
yeah.
is great. So you
Falls within the filter.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you wake up what time?
Oof. The audition was at 11:45. I thought it was at 12:20.
Yeah.
I woke up. I set my alarm to 10:30.
Okay.
It was close.
It's fine. Don't feel bad. But you're probably doing people.
Oh yeah,
comedians
the
have
night
night
before. I
schedules.
was doing shows the night
Yeah,
before.
yeah. So this was Tuesday. So
And
what-
there's yeah,
okay. So you set the alarm for 10:30.
and I snoozed till like 11
Yeah. If you didn't have the audition, you think you would have snoozed more?
for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't wake up early. I'm trying to wake up earlier, but I go to sleep so late.
Sure,
it's
sure.
like
Well, we
Yeah.
got you here at 10, so...
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
impressed.
this was fine. Well, I'm getting back into focus.
Okay,
right?
good.
So like
good.
this
Well,
was
I'm glad we
Glad
can
we're
help.
helping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
help you.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
So you wake up.
I wake up around 11.
Yeah.
I was half awake from 10:30
And at this point,
to
you
11.
think the audition is at 12:20.
Yes.
And at what
So you're
point?
like, oh, I got
at what
all
point do
kinds
you
of
realize
time.
it's at 11?
after I take a shower, okay, which is not good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I'm just taking my time.
Yeah.
And then I look at the email just to double check, and I'm just like, oh shit, it's
Yeah.
like I've got like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's so...
So I just jump on the train. I go there. I'm like 10 minutes late.
Yeah.
And they were seeing a lot of people that day.
Yeah.
So the lady was like, hey, I got a meetings, so I'll see you in an hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, that's my fault.
Yeah.
So I go get food. I mean, you don't need to know the details.
No.
this is what we do.
want to
We
do.
love
so
the
you
details.
So you get there 10 minutes late, but they agree to see you in an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this Blue's Clues like live action or a voice situation?
No, but I would love to see Blue's Clues live action.
Yeah.
I don't know what that could
Well,
say.
wait,
Because
isn't-
you're a human.
Isn't
I am
Blue's Clu-
human.
Wait. Blues.
It's the
it's-
reboot. This is the reboot. They're rebooting it, by the way.
So you're not auditioning for like the main guy.
No, I am.
Oh, you are
auditioning
auditioning for the main guy.
Yeah.
Blues Clues. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So wait, hold on. I have so many questions. First of all, you're probably
So this was at Nickelodeon.
yeah.
Which I think is Viacom.
Yeah.
Times
Which
Square.
is exactly.
15, 15,
yeah.
sure.
I think MTV is there and all that stuff.
So
yeah.
you're probably thrilled that she agrees to see you in an hour because now you haven't eaten anything and you're probably
where-
happy.
Yeah, exactly. I hadn't eaten anything at all.
Where in Times Square do you go to eat? Because I've spent most of my career in that
in this
area.
particular, I don't have like set Times Square places. It's not every day that I'm auditioning for Blue's Clues.
Right.
Despite my blue face, that didn't land.
And that's Blue Man Group. Yeah.
But I went to 8th Ave because I knew
It's all food.
Yeah, and I knew 7th is going to be more touristy, so if I could find somewhere, I'll get something a little bit
good.
cheaper.
Okay.
I went to some
Smart.
bodega food place. I got
Okay.
bagel and egg
Sure. You
whites.
love the
I love the bagel,
yeah.
but I got egg whites.
That's good.
Well, you wanna
and,
keep
and
it-
lettuce onion.
And you have your audition coming up, so you don't want to get too full. You don't want to.
Yeah, and I didn't want to go for too long
Yeah.
either because I was
Right.
worried like she'd be done early. And she'd be like, well, I guess he's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I go back. There's like some other girl in the audition room, and I'm like, all right, cool, because she's auditioning for her too. So they're also seeing people after the meeting. So
Yeah.
I didn't like mess up the
Right.
whole day for someone.
Yeah.
I auditioned. It was like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, cool. And I only
The
did
first audition, they're usually just getting you in just to see literally what you look like.
Yeah.
And whether you have the look there.
But a lot of this wasn't real acting.
Yeah.
This was clowning. I was telling, so there's this other girl who got there early who also had like, well, her audition was probably like 1 or
Yeah.
yeah. So she was telling me about herself, and she said that her background was as a clown.
Got it.
So when I'm like doing these, it's not. I'm like looking at, you're talking to the audience through the camera, which in general acting you don't make eye contact with the camera.
Yeah.
You're talking to a reader or like actual people. So it's just like, hey guys, like thanks for coming to my our Blues birthday party. Today we're gonna learn about puzzles. Like it's not.
Right.
That's not like. There's never a point.
I'm hooked.
Yeah, you're hooked. But there's never a point in a real like where I'm talking to my friend and I'm like, hey Jason, let's talk about puzzles.
Yeah.
Like, that's
But
not
as a
like a real-
stand-up, you are used to talking.
Oh
directly
yeah, I
to
was
people,
very
so that-
comfortable.
yeah.
I like kids, and I can like amp up my energy if need be.
Yeah,
but-
I mean, you worked with fat kids,
yeah, I did.
soccer players,
I did.
soccer kids.
Yeah,
Yeah. So literally 30 seconds is the
yeah.
audition.
There was no second take.
Yeah.
But the girl after me, I talked to her after her audition. We kind of just became friends, and she was telling me how hers went, and she only did 1 take too. But she also sang Old MacDonald because she has
upon request or of her own.
I feel like it was upon request because, but she had
was
a
auditioning for American Idol.
yes, the kids version. Well, I
Yeah.
guess it's kind of a kids
Yeah.
version anyway. And but this is because in the breakdown, they're like, if you're a singer, if you have a singing background, please be prepared to sing.
Yeah.
I don't have a singing background.
Yeah.
You should have lied.
I should have, and I definitely wouldn't
This
have gotten
is
it.
Don't Stop Believing.
Yeah.
by Journey.
I feel like you could pull off Old MacDonald. I don't think.
Oh
it's
yeah,
that.
Old MacDonald is, and then she also did a rap
Oh wow.
that she prepared herself that she made up. Which
I'm
I didn't
immediately
do.
embarrassed for
That,
her. and-
well, that's high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
That could either go
High
really
risk,
well
yeah.
or really badly.
Yeah, it's just, she used a lot of
now
profanity.
she's beefing with Drake.
Yeah, crazy how that happens. All
Yeah.
based on one Blues Clues audition.
Yeah, it's great. Watch out, push it.
So the audition's quick. You talk to this girl afterwards, and then what happens? Where do you go from there?
then I went to see Dave.
Kimowitz.
Kimowitz.
Oh,
Yeah, I went
okay.
to my manager's
Yeah.
office.
Former guest of
pulling
the
up my
pod,
schedule.
friend of us.
He's
Friend of ours.
By the way, do you have a Google calendar? You keeping all this track, or you have a calendar?
Yeah, so I'm very meticulous with notes. So this is,
and yet you had the wrong time for the audition. No, I'm just kidding.
I know because the audition was actually the week before, and then it got rescheduled to this.
right.
So
The
I went to
time
the
you
old.
went-
The old
original
time is still in
the
your
time
head.
changed.
Exactly.
That's,
Oh, that's-
these things happen to me
that
all the
happens.
time.
That's
Mostly because
frustrating.
I don't keep a calendar.
yeah. Oh my god, I don't know how you do it. It's insane.
It's all in my head.
I get texts from him. It's like, we're podcasting tonight, right? I'm like, no, it's next week.
Okay, yeah. So then I went to Dave's to
On the Bowery, right? Yeah.
on Barry.
Keep that off.
At the same time, I got an email from my commercial agent they're like, day of that you have a commercial audition for an insurance company. I want to say the insurance company, but I feel like I'm not supposed to.
No, it's fine, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did have to sign an NDA,
So,
a non-disclosure agreement.
Is there like a debate about like, are you going to go back home at this point, or you decided you've committed to staying in the city?
I already knew I was going to go see Dave.
Right.
I wanted to talk to him about like career stuff.
Sure.
Plan some stuff out for the summer.
Yeah.
So I went to see him.
What are you wearing to this audition?
To the Blue's Clues
Are you in,
audition?
like shorts?
No, I never wear shorts.
Yeah,
I'm wearing shorts now, but I'm going to go running after this.
Yeah.
It's okay. You don't have to.
We don't.
I'm wearing
believe
a suit and tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very expensive suit and tie. But yeah, so then I go see Dave. But I already have that audition that's like that I just received for this commercial that's coming up. So I go see Dave. I talked to him for like half hour.
Yeah.
Then I head back uptown. So this was CH is like Chinatown.
Yeah.
123 Bowery. Yeah. Then I do the commercial audition.
Where was the commercial audition?
60 Madison Ave.
So you went from
Wow.
Times Square to Chinatown and then back uptown.
Yeah, and my day started in Brooklyn.
Right.
Yeah, so then I go there. Audition was cool.
2 auditions in one day.
2 auditions
Killing
in
it.
one day. There's a lady with a baby, and I was like really focused on. I was very concerned for the baby at the audition room. The commercial audition. It was a mom. It was
she
a
was
mom.
auditioning, or she was.
That's like as cliche like as you get. Like
She
working
was
mom.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
hitting auditions, bringing the baby to the audition.
But the baby, she just
The
I
baby
think
got
she-
the part.
The baby nailed it.
Yeah.
She probably had a different audition. I'm assuming
The baby's the new Geico.
yes, the gecko.
Geico,
Yeah.
Geico.
But she just put the baby. This is completely tangential. She just tangential, not tangential. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways,
Tangentital.
I think I accidentally said that. Anyways, yeah. She put the baby on the ground, just like it was a baby, so he couldn't move, like he
Right.
couldn't crawl away. So that's smart. But it was just like germs on the ground. It's like a
No
high
pack and play or
traffic.
anything?
Look, I have a 3-year-old, and all your things and rules that you thought you would have go completely out the window.
But people would walk by this baby, and I'm like, one slight misstep, and that baby is done.
Yeah.
And she was cool, and I was just like, the
Wait,
baby
and
was
then
chill, but I was
when
just worried.
she goes
Like,
into the audition, is the baby just stays outside?
I have no idea
Oh,
because
so
I
you
went in
didn't get that
before
He's like,
her.
excuse
yeah.
me, sir, do you mind watching my baby while I go audition for this? Insurance
Everybody
company?
loved the baby,
course.
but she
Who
didn't
doesn't
know.
love it?
Yeah, but she didn't know anyone.
It's got to be nerve wracking for that woman. Just she's got.
I don't know.
Kid,
She seemed so like
in it.
She seemed over it.
That's her
She
life.
didn't even. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was. Yeah. She was like, all right. This it is what it is.
if you're calm, the baby's calm. That's
Yeah.
what they say. So
She was calm.
Yeah.
She was not focused.
The kid's already in SAG.
Yeah.
You didn't see you were not asked like to watch like a Starbucks laptop like a babe like
No,
the baby,
no,
you
but
know.
she didn't ask anyone to watch the baby.
Yeah.
Which I was like, you should ask one of us.
Yeah.
So your baby's safe.
Yeah, well then
It was
how do they know
germs
yours
versus
safe?
strangers,
Yeah.
and she chose germs, which
I
is
would-
not a bad.
No.
That's a safe in New York.
Safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where do you go from the audition?
So I'm trying to get in better shape.
Yeah.
So I've signed up for this fitness class called Ultimate Tabata Fitness.
I've never heard
Wow.
that.
Okay, so-
I've seen the sign.
So Tabata is so people who do CrossFit, they incorporate Tabata in it. And I think Tabata is basically like maybe in the 80s or 70s, there's like some Japanese dude who discovered that like if you do high intensity interval training, but basically you just go crazy for 20 seconds,
Yeah.
rest for 5 seconds, and just repeat.
Yeah, there was
repeat.
a place near my old apartment like that. It's crazy.
Where do you live? Oh, well, you live
my
in
old
Harlem
one
now.
in
Yeah.
Union Square. There was I think it was
Okay.
Tabata.
Yeah, there's a lot of high intensity interval
Yeah.
training things now. So that was at 5:30, but I didn't make the 5:30 one. So yeah, I get home and I'm like,
Wait, so you missed the class?
but I did the 6:30.
You did the 6:30.
I did the 6:30. I had a show at
And
9:30.
the class was over at
Yeah.
6:37.
Yes,
High intensity.
Yes.
Yeah.
7.
and
So
then,
you have a 2-shower day.
yeah, I
Is that
did
unusual, or is that
I'm realizing in the summer, not not so much. Now that it's hot outside, the second I step into the subway, I need
Yeah.
another
So you
shower.
run home, shower, change, and go hit
Run home, shower, change, but I do stretches before I go into class, which takes me like half hour. I have like bad posture, and I used to play a lot of sports, so I like try to like make sure I'm prepared. Yeah. I do that. I finish it. How are we on time?
We got about
we're good.
5-10 minutes left.
Okay. Good. I do that. I do the class. I come home, take a shower. I have a show at 9:30. But so right now is Ramadan. So I have a Muslim background. Yeah. And I'm not fasting.
Right.
I'm not a good Muslim. But I have a friend from college who had an iftar, who's having like an iftar party or get together. Iftar is kind of like when you break fast at sunset.
Like Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
But it's every night for all of Ramadan?
For 30 days, yeah.
So people parties every night? Or they,
different people, but you don't, it's not like you go to a party every night.
Okay,
like I could just break fast if I'm out or at home on my own. But that is just like a social thing. Mm-hmm. So, basically my goal is to go to that. You break fast at 8:30. The show's at 9:30. So I go back,
and it's not frowned upon to go to the party having not fasted.
But they didn't know that.
They didn't know that. Now
yeah,
they do.
You just show up and act like, oh man,
yeah, exactly, yeah,
yeah. It is crazy. I don't think I ever put this together. That
I pretend a lot. I have a very like my family like my dad. I grew up in a conservative Islamic background till I moved with my mom when I was 12, 13.
I knew Ramadan was sunrise to sunset, and I don't think I ever put together that it's during the time of year where the days are the longest.
Yeah.
That's really
so
hard.
people who are fasting are very aware.
What
that
a
they're
scam.
like, oh, this is going to be brutal. But winter's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Akeem Olajuwon used to play in the playoffs. Yeah. NBA Finals not having eaten all day, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to do that. I used to play basketball in middle school. I wasn't in NBA in middle school.
Yeah.
And in case you
I used to
confused,
do what Hakeem Olajuwon used to do.
And me and my brothers would fast,
Yeah.
and we'd be fine.
Yeah.
But that's when you're a middle schooler. I don't know how people can do that past 20.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, your body is not, like, if you faint, you're like, if you faint anywhere, the likelihood of you hitting something, like, it's not safe.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did that. He's amazing.
How many shows did you do that night?
I did one. I had another spot that I canceled, but it's at a place. It's not at the best comedy club. It's not like it's like a tourist place near Times Square that people cancel and switch with people all the time.
Right.
Yeah,
I was going to say it's a good transition to the blow off, but if you're saying it's common occurrence.
I've definitely blown off shows and stuff before.
Yeah. What's your go-to? Well,
I don't do it all the time, but it depends on the venue. This particular venue, it's all app-based, and it's not even like, it's almost part of the culture.
Yeah.
Because you release it on the app, and then people see it, and they pick it up. I don't blow shows that often, but at this particular place, I can just cancel it.
Got it.
The idea of canceling something without speaking to somebody or without any contact somebody is like the best.
Swipe left
invention.
if you don't want to do this show.
If I have to cancel elsewhere, I'm like nervous and like I'll know earlier in the day, but like I'll just brood over it and like maybe I can make it work or something, and then like it'll be closer to the show that I'm like, all right, I can't do it. I gotta message them.
I will often like cancel things like a week in advance just because like I don't want to deal with the stress of like having to, and I'm just like, I'll postpone it, like I'll do it at a different time because it seems like it's gonna be too many things but having to cancel on the way to something or like showing up late to something is you're missing it, but it can be stressful. But I also know people who, I mean, do you cancel shows? There are some people who are like, I never cancel a show unless I absolutely have to. But then there's some people who are like, yeah, I didn't feel like going and I'll cancel it.
It really depends on like the venue and place. This particular place is all app based, and it's not like a reputable place. It's a tourist trap, and the level of the comedians there they're not that great either. Yeah. So that's different.
But then it's like stage time, so it's like if you have nothing else going on, why not do it?
But like an 8 o'clock family friendly show in Times Square, it's not that productive.
So you canceled the first one. We had the Ramadan party. The iftar.
The second one was on St. Mark's.
So
I did the Ramadan thing. Iftar, I ate food. We prayed, which I haven't prayed in like forever. But So a lot of the tradition in Ramadan, this may be specifically to Pakistani culture, is you break fast with a kajur. A kajur is a date. It's just, like...
Sure.
Yeah.
And then you pray, and then you, pig out.
Got it.
Nice.
So we did
The
that.
date is like the amuse-bouche.
Yeah.
What is amuse-bouche?
Amuse-bouche is a small bite that you have before your meal to whet the appetite.
Yeah.
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 Okay, yeah.
I watched Chopped.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a family cousin that she won Chopped.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Fatima Ali, yeah. She's Pakistani. There's an episode
I know what you're
where
thinking.
Was she on Top Chef also?
She might have been.
There was a Fatima on Top Chef.
Yeah, it was probably her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
She did
Yeah.
really well, but
Yeah. She's done a bunch of stuff with them now.
Can we have her on?
Yeah.
I can add, yeah.
We watched Top Chef.
What time did you go to bed that night after your show? Do you a lot
Do you
of
hang
dicking
at
around?
Do you hang at the place?
I would have, but I was with a friend and we both live in Brooklyn.
Right.
So I probably left the show 10:30.
And then are you late night eating? Or are you still
So that's something I'm trying to work on.
Yeah.
I used to be able to just crush a box of cereal and
Yeah.
then I would have the best sleep ever.
Yeah,
I was
preaching to the
phenomenal.
choir.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to do low carb, and at night I'm trying to do nothing processed, so just salads and stuff before I go to sleep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hard. It's hard to find a place that'll make you a salad at midnight.
Yeah, but so I'll know that so I'll have a salad
Yeah.
prepared at home.
Yeah.
We as a kitschy thing, a few weeks before we moved, I came home and Jamie was like, I got a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch just as a fun. And then we, 3 nights, ate it, and we're like, let's never do that again. It's the milk
I try to
and the
eat.
sugar and the this, and before you go to sleep, and it was
I try as much as possible to eat healthy throughout the day so that I don't feel as bad if there's a late night eating.
The healthier I eat
splurge.
during the day, the more likely I am to splurge at night.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It
makes
all
a lot of
comes
sense.
together at night. I'm just I need something.
This has been awesome, dude. Thanks so much
Yeah.
it's been really interesting hearing
We're
about your day.
glad
I
we
think-
got you out of bed.
Yeah. What tell people
I have a quick blow off thing.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, please.
please.
Go ahead.
This is unprofessional. It was for a commercial audition, and I'm like, all right, I do hundreds of commercial auditions. I never get anything. I was hungover. I was like, I don't think I can go in. For some reason, this particular day, they called me, and they're just like, where are you? My agent called, or the cast. And I'm like, what? I was like, this never happens. It was because it was straight to callback.
Yeah.
And then I just ignored it. This was very irresponsible of me, and not typical of my behavior. But I was just really out of it, and so I just ignored everything until a couple hours later. And my excuse was that I was running and it was really hot outside. It was last summer, and I said that I fainted. And that
Wow.
I would
it's
really.
elaborate. It's elaborate.
It is. Yeah.
Do you worry about the karmic
Yes,
repercussions?
I felt bad. I felt guilty. I was like, "This is what's wrong with me."
Did they try to reschedule you, or were they too late? That's
They didn't try to reschedule.
Because then they might
They
feel
didn't.
sorry for you.
Yeah, that's what I.
Oh, this guy fainted.
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
I don't know if I think I said someone called the aim. I don't know how elaborate.
Wow.
It was. Yeah, it was
Amazing.
ridiculous.
That is an epic blow off.
yeah.
That's
It
that's
is.
the biggest lie anyone has ever told.
It's
I
huge.
have a condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh my
was.
God.
I felt like an. Yeah,
It
I
is a
should-
crazy comment on our culture, though, that in order to believe that someone would not look at their phone for 2 hours, you have to
Yeah.
make up
a
some
medical
insane
emergency.
medical
The only thing that would make
excuse.
sense.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
say we're living in such sensitive times. I feel like you could just be like, "Well, it's Ramadan." People, okay, let's go.
Yeah, you
Let's
should
go.
use Ramadan.
But
as
it's
an excuse more.
December. That's
Oh,
our
yeah.
time.
They don't. White people
wouldn't
don't know.
even.
Just
They
lie.
wouldn't even check
Yeah,
it.
Yeah. Where could people find you? What
buy
do you
that.
have to plug? What online? Your handles.
Okay, so Gibran Saleem at Gibran Saleem is all my.
GIB.
So that's G as in giant, I, B as in Bob, RAN as in Nancy, Saleem, S as in Sarah, ALEEM as in
Great,
Mary.
wonderful, well done.
thank
Yeah,
you.
and that's on Twitter and
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Great.
Yeah.
And then anything you want to plug? Anything you want to mention? People should look out for.
There's some things in the works, but nothing official.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, check me out.
Your
I perform
clips
in New
are
York all the time.
online on YouTube and stuff. Yeah, cool, man. It's been really fun. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise.
And stay busy, everybody.
Because I'm busy. Whenever I get with her, say I'm busy. And I'm going to hit you later because I'm busy. Busy with her.